guys, my name is Elizabeth. I just go by Liz, and we are here at Routesetting Uptown, and we are going to be setting a V6, hopefully. So I'm just going to start with this really tiny in-cut crimp, mostly because we are starting at kind of a slight overhang, and I added this volume over here because I really want to start with some sort of, gas stone crimp, and then really use that volume. So I want to kind of start with a high foot, and I'm mostly just using that tiny feature because it gives you just enough grip to actually use the volume, but enough to keep you insecure. So I've been route setting for just over a year, about a year and maybe 4 months now. I started here and it's been great so far. I'm all for heel hooks, so if there's ever any possibility for a heel hook, I will put it in. So this is going to be crimpy and just very technical, very static, so we'll see how it goes. So one of them is pretty in-cut. I want you to go left hand with it, and then having to kind of cross over right. And again, since you're on the volume, you're going to be initially on a heel hook, and then you kind of just perch over to really lean into the crimp. It might be the crux just because this right hand is pretty slopey, so we'll see. And you're really going to have to lock off on this gas stone to go to a pretty bad pinch. So it actually might be the crux. That's the final hold, and if it ends up being too hard, just too risky, I'll probably just put a finish jug on there and it'll be the same move. So hopefully the beginning is going to be really difficult. You're mostly going to be relying on your right hand crimp and kind of either just using this left hand as a thumb catch or kind of just pressing with all 4 fingers. And the idea is to kind of just get some really good compression against the volume and kind of just getting like really stable on your foot. Yeah, so hopefully, maybe not pumpy necessarily, but it'll definitely get you, thinking. So you'll probably get more gassed than anything, just on this, getting over the volume. That's the idea at least. During the forerunning, it might end up being that it's really easy and a lot of the steps are skippable. So I want to minimize that and really kind of just force every part of the sequence. The initial forerun, we'll see how it goes. My thought right now is that it might be a little bit too spanned out, especially for the sequence that I want, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get a heel hook right now. We'll see. If that's the case, I think I'm just going to move that right hand start in just enough so that I can wrap my heel around the top of the volume. Yes. Alright, so we're going to move that in. So that might also mean that I'm going to have to move that foot down because I already moved it in. We'll move it down right now, and then if it turns out that it wasn't the right move, we'll just move it back. If this doesn't work, we're just going to make that foot better. Attempt number 2. Oh, maybe we'll move the heel up. Let's try that. Because my foot is just naturally landing up here, and this is just too low right now. Since most of your grip is going to be on that top of that volume, and your right hand is going to want to be on the outermost side of the volume, I want you to have just enough grip on the volume to get a heel hook and be able to kind of press off onto that left hand gas stone. Right now I feel like it's not going to work, but we'll see. that's a step up. The first sequence it went pretty much how I envisioned it, just a few minor tweaks. And now we're just gonna move on to the top of the sequence because that's a little too hard, especially with the protruding volume. I don't want anybody falling directly onto it, so we're mostly tweaking it for that. Okay, so we're definitely gonna add a finished jug because that is really far up. So when I meant jugs, you guys, I actually meant mini jugs. We might have to change something once we forerun at the beginning. So right now I'm not going to forerun the bottom anymore since we already know that goes. And we don't want to waste any energy in the forerunning process. So I'm just going to start from the top of the volume because we did change that left-hand gas stone, we brought it in. So let's just give it a go.
Say that again?
Should have chalked myself up. That move totally goes. It's just more so like the whole wrist, and I was getting super sweaty. So I was like, if I go for a next hole, I'm totally gonna pop off my left hand because I think it's pretty sustained at a V6 right now. Because I can usually flash V5s, and right now I'm struggling, as you can tell. Alright, that's a V6. Cool, that was really awesome. It flowed more than I expected. It was really just that rotation in that left hand that made it comfortable enough for you to really lock off and go for that right hand. So otherwise it's really tweaky on the wrist, and I don't really like climbs that do that, especially that I'm injured right now. So yeah, that was really cool. Nice. Cool, so thank you guys for joining us today. My name is Liz. If you ever see me around at First Ascent at any of the 3 locations, be sure to say hi, and I hope you guys see you around.